slowly but surely is enough. The Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is in a hurry to get everyone on board so that the journey to a shared mining prosperity can progress steadily. But don't let your guard down. Protect yourself and the nation from another wave of COVID-19 by observing health and safety precautions. That's one way to keep the momentum. Until I come your way again next week, mine responsibly.
Located in the heart of Nnewi town in Nnewi North local government area of Anambra State, Nigeria, it is a source that preserves the old artifacts, objects, and history of a renowned scholar, author, historian, politician, and a one-time Senate President of Nigeria in the First Republic. He is Prince Akweze Abasina Nwafo Rizu.
From the largest television network in Africa, the NTA, we bring to you Weekend File, where we seek the views of a process that is meant to reinvigorate all aspects of our national life in education, science, technology and innovation, agriculture, health, and other aspects of societal development. The Weekend File crew has the onerous task of articulating all the issues, ensuring that all perspectives are brought to the table. On this show, all things matter and opinions of every class count. Weekend File shows every Saturday at 9 p.m. on the NTA network service. It is your weekend companion and a destination for news, views, and analysis. It is unmissable.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV.
Every cargo from southwest passes through Niger, through Mina specifically. At the moment, we're going through hell.
Poor state of road infrastructure. Niger State Governor seeks urgent intervention from the federal government.
If we have a train service, then we'll be able to take over the import and export business of Niger Republic.
Information Minister reiterates federal government's commitment to accelerate infrastructural development gives clarification on Kano-Maradi rail line.
We are more concerned as aviators with the safety and security of our industry.
Nigeria's diamond anniversary, correspondent examines the aviation sector in the last 6 decades. Plus, federal government colleges to reopen in the next 10 days. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jumwa Yusuf. It's been 60 years of working together in peace and unity. May we never have a reason to divide. Happy independence as we celebrate you and urge you to continue to believe in the Nigerian brand, as there's no other nation like our Nigeria. Tonight I'll be reading with 2 newscasters. Adiola is in Lagos and Ogochukwuka is in Benin. We begin with the presidency, as President Muhammadu Buhari is urging member states of the United Nations to develop additional strategies towards protecting and improving the quality of life of women and girls as critical pathway to the realization of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as well as the Beijing Declaration and Platform of Action. This was in his virtual address to the high-level meeting on the 25th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women on the margins of the 75th session of the UN General Assembly in New York. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The high-level meeting focused on accelerating the realization of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. President Muhammadu Buhari said since the adoption of the Beijing Declaration, concerted efforts have been made by Nigeria towards ensuring women's participation in all aspects of nation building through quality education, access to economic resources, as well as promotion of leadership roles at all levels.
Nigeria acknowledges that the achievement of full human potential and sustainable development is impossible if women and girls are denied their human rights and opportunities. Our administration remains committed to eradicating poverty and enhancing growth and development for women and girls.
The president said apart from initiating programs such as trader money and market money aimed at providing zero interest and collateral-free credits to petty traders, many of whom women and girls, the government is implementing vigorously the UBE program towards enhancing girl-child education at the grassroots.
The Girl Education Project has contributed to the marked increase in girls' enrollment and retention in schools, as well as guaranteed full productive capacity for future generations of women. I note with satisfaction that through the Safe School program, we are ensuring improved security through the provision of necessary learning materials for schools.
The federal government, he also said, is creating awareness on the sex offenders register to discourage and better manage cases of gender-based violence, as well as working with relevant partners towards addressing the menace of trafficking of women and girls.
Our administration believes that the promotion and protection of fundamental human rights and freedoms are critical to the attainment of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
And to mitigate the socio-economic effects of COVID-19, President Muhammadu Buhari said vulnerable groups have been prioritized, while 1 million Nigerians have been enrolled into the National Social Register to enable the poor and vulnerable households access needed social assistance. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the United Nations General Assembly is calling for urgent action, strong political support and targeted investments for women to actualize the goals set 25 years ago in Beijing, China, towards preventing the gains achieved painstakingly over the decades from being at risk. This was at a high-level meeting on the sideline of the 75th anniversary of the organization. Adebola Brooks and Sunday reports.
The NGO Forum on Women.
In 1995, women from all over the world converged on Beijing in China for the 4th World Conference on Women. In a resolution, They agreed to promote a set of principles concerning the equality of men and women. 25 years down the lane, UN Women said sad stories and millions more are unfolding daily in the lives of girls around the world, which shows that there is still a long way to go, as 1 woman in 3 experiences the trauma of violence in her lifetime.
Even where progress is made, it may not reach the women and girls who need it most. More than 300,000 a year should not still be dying from pregnancy-related causes.
We look at Colombia, Nigeria, Pakistan, and United States, and we show the huge inequalities between different groups of women in these countries in different aspects of the SDG agenda.
Female genital mutilation, we estimate that at least 200 women and girls in 30 countries have undergone FGM.
World Conference on Women.
The high-level meeting dwelled extensively on accelerating the realization of gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls, especially as they are the worst affected by the dreaded coronavirus and other violence in the world.
When the needs of women who have been forcibly displaced are addressed, we are all safer. When women are engaged in peace processes, we are more likely to have lasting peace.
It is the only way we will implement the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and achieve lives of dignity and opportunity for all.
The forum wants all governments in the world to know that the rights of a woman or a girl child are not negotiable, and appealed for their defense, which it said are essential for full gender equality, women's respect and empowerment. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Away from the UN to other matters, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State says unless there is urgent intervention by the federal government, the power state will be cut completely off from the rest of Nigeria due to poor state of road infrastructure. He stated this while briefing journalists after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
Governor Abubakar Sani Bello told President Muhammadu Buhari that at the moment, motoring public in Niger State are facing difficult times due to poor state of roads.
As of today, we have 2 field stations on Mina-Bida Road and 1 field station on Mina-Tegina Road, which has brought about a complete blockage of that road. There are lots of issues involved that needs to be addressed, and I hope we'll look into it as a government immediately. Every cargo from southwest passes through Niger, through Mina specifically. At the moment, we're going through hell in Niger State, so I believe something will be done.
President Buhari and the Niger State Governor also discussed the devastating effect of the recent flooding that affected 21 out of the 25 local government areas of the state and what needs to be done in aid of the victims.
At the moment, we have over 150 communities underwater in Niger State. Thousands of hectares of land have been displaced by floods, and major investments like the Sunti Sugar is completely underwater. They've lost over 2,500 hectares of sugarcane plantation, and a vast majority of the facility itself is underwater. Livestock as well have been lost.
Governor Sani Bello thanked President Buhari for his intervention as regards the issue of insecurity in Niger State.
In the last few weeks, there has been a lot of, there have been serious onslaught by our security agencies in the forest. The Air Force has been patrolling, and they've made a lot of sorties in Niger State. At the same time, the Nigerian police and Nigerian Army have also conducted a lot of search and cordon exercises within the state. I believe that if we maintain the tempo, hopefully we'll see some great improvements when it comes to security.
On the COVID-19 pandemic, the governor reported significant drop in the rate of infection and expressed the belief that the health challenge will soon be controlled and contained. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government says it remains focused on its plans to accelerate infrastructural development
as a fundamental necessity to increase revenue generation and make life meaningful to all citizens. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed reiterated this on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria while discussing Nigeria at 60 matters arising. Olushe Adebo reports.
The curtain might have fallen on the celebration of Nigeria at 60, but Nigerians are still engaged in discussions on the country's development trajectory. Across different television programs and platforms, government officials have been engaged on the impact of government programs and policies, especially on infrastructural development in the country. On Good Morning Nigeria, Minister of Information and Culture gave insight into the expected outcomes of the recently inaugurated Itakpe-Ajaokuta Warri Railway and other ongoing infrastructural projects across the country.
Nothing opens up a country like transportation, especially rail transportation. You can imagine the amount of, the congestion that will go on, that will leave the axis. Not to talk about the economy you are going to create along that corridor. Or do you want to go to the area of power? Hopefully, by the end of 2021, at least 7,000 megawatts of power will be reaching, the homes.
The minister also used the platform to speak on the wisdom behind the recently approved Kano-Katsina-Maradi rail line.
Because we do not have the road infrastructure that would encourage Niger, for instance, to use our seaports, we believe that if we have a train service, then we're able to take over the import and export business of Niger Republic. That is a simple reason why we did so.
It was the high point of the conversation in which Lai Mohammed equally acknowledged the contributions of the founding fathers, the present leadership, as well as the resilience of Nigerians. In Abuja, Oluseye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Now, since the first flight touched down in 1925 in Kano to open the nation's airspace to the world before Nigeria's independence, the aviation sector has become an integral part of the socio-economic life of the nation, creating opportunities and facilitating air transportation within the country and the outside world from independence to date. These contributions from the aviation sector has continued with a lot of excitement. Aviation correspondent Emmanuel Anyimiro takes a look at the aviation sector in the 60 years of Nigeria.
It is still one of the wonders of science how a heavy and giant object such as aeroplane defy the law of physics to fly in the sky. The aviation sector is older than Nigeria. The country is 60, while it is 95 years ago that the first plane landed in the country and the subsequent establishment of national carrier known as Nigerian Airways in 1958. The national airline rapidly progressed and increased its routes within Africa, Europe, and other parts of the globe until in 2003 when it became indebted and finally liquidated, giving way to some indigenous airlines to become major players in the industry.
I flew Nigeria Airways sometimes fortnightly to London Heathrow. Nigeria Airways had very wonderful, world-recognized safety records.
International Air Transport Association, IATA, records reveal challenges in the industry, but Nigeria has been reaping from the aviation sector through direct and indirect jobs and equally contributing to her GDP and increasing tax revenue generation. Linking and connecting cities, nations, and markets, as well as enabling foreign investments and other benefits, IATA report listed. In the last 5 years, attention has been paid to infrastructural provision in the sector with the rehabilitation of Abuja Airport runway and 2 new international terminals in Port Harcourt and Abuja, while that of Lagos and Kano are almost ready.
We have now procured the firefighting simulator in Zaria, so we'll no longer go outside the country to train. We'll train here in Zaria and other people will come and train in us. And our own is fully automated We also commenced the building of the housing for 737 simulator in Zaria.
The problematic runway at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, has also been fixed alongside other facilities in line with best international practices.
I never believed this was possible. I never believed that what we are seeing today would happen and happen with such rapidity.
Apart from the certification of Lagos and Abuja airports as a result of improved safety records, installation of Category 3 of instrument landing systems and other communication equipment to aid landing at zero visibility in Lagos and Abuja, experts say have further taken Nigeria's aviation to higher pedestal.
The awesomeness of Category 3, it takes you straight to the threshold with extreme precision. Hadisirika has done well in those areas, and it is something that I find very exciting.
We are more concerned as aviators with safety and security of our industry. How very safe you depart point A and arrive at point B, and securely for that matter.
The COVID-19 has greatly affected the sector. Players derive satisfaction from the fact that the industry played a major role in curtailing the spread of the pandemic by facilitating the distribution of protective and other medical equipment needed to tackle it when land and water transportations were shut down.
This evacuation flight was what saved the day for quite a number of passengers.
Many more reforms and even the floating of a national carrier are in the offing, a development that has enthused both players in the industry and other sector that depend on it to thrive. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Thank you, Emmanuel. 333,000 artisans and business operators are to benefit from the Artisan and Transport Sector Intervention Fund. This intervention is part of the 75 billion naira MSME Survival Fund launched by the federal government less than a month ago. Kunle Adeya reports that Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Miriam Katagum, disclosed this in Abuja.
John Olusegun Gabriel is an auto mechanic. His dream of expanding his business is about to become a reality. John is among 333,000 artisans and business operators to benefit from the Artisan and Transport Sector Intervention Fund of the 75 billion naira MSME Survivor Fund launched less than a month ago.
Now that government is trying to help our association in order to have access to this very grant, is going to help us a lot.
The numerous associates that we work with, there has been joy among all of them that government will recognize them, remember them, and that there's such a simple process for them to be able to get something.
The impact of COVID-19 has been felt by all sectors, including the MSMEs. The intervention fund is part of government stimulus plan to address impact of the pandemic on the economy. Government officials say it is targeting the sector because of its huge contribution to the country's GDP and workforce.
One of the core areas of concentration of the Buhari administration has been the MSME and artisan space. And you're all aware several MSME clinics, at least more than 25, have taken place so far.
And we have to provide for them to enable them get some kind of assistance from the government.
John, Esther and others like them would ultimately access necessary funds to actualize their dreams. In Abuja, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Still on the 75 billion naira MSME Survival Fund and Guarantee Takeoff schemes, it is expected to last for 3 months, targeting 1.7 entities and industries. What will be the implication on this on the Nigerian economy? Our guest on NTA Network News tonight is the Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Miriam Katagum. She will provide answers to these questions. You're welcome to NTA Network News.
Thank you very much. Good evening and happy Independence Anniversary to all Nigerians.
They said this scheme is fulfilling the promise of the Buhari's administration to cushion the effect of the COVID-19 on small businesses. So, What does it entail, and what is the criteria for registration, which has already commenced, and how are Nigerians keen into the fund?
Yes, thank you very much. This initiative of the MSME Survival Fund and Payroll Support is part of the various initiatives within the Economic Sustainability Plan. And we have been very lucky and privileged, the MSME sector, that His Excellency approved the total sum of 75 billion for about 4 tracks of initiatives. And I'll mention them very quickly. First of all, we have the payroll support. And by payroll support, we're targeting private school education providers, people in the hospitality industry, small industries, in order to support and enable them not to lose jobs, not to lay off their workers. And this would also help increase productivity. As you are aware, schools are going to open very soon, and private school provision complements what government does. So here we've asked them, go to the website. You can load as many as 10 teachers maximum that you want us to support. And what this project intends to do is provide at least 30,000 naira or up to a maximum of 50,000 naira for a maximum of 10 teachers in a school. It could be a minimum of 3, depending on what you have, and we'll provide this as a support for 3 months. That's why we have this short period. Secondly, still within the first track, you also have what we call the MSME grants. Okay. Some might not qualify to have enough teachers or enough staff. Maybe your MSME, you just have 3 people or below. So you can just apply for a one-off grant of 50,000. Then the other track, which is what we launched yesterday, is the one that affects the artisans. And here we're looking at plumbers, mechanics, hairdressers, and so on and so forth. And we're encouraging them either want to apply through their associations and unions, or they can apply individually. But we've tried to make a ratio of 80% to 20% for those who want to apply individually. And there's another track for those in the transportation sector. Okay. And we're still having a discussion with Ministry of Transport to try and identify the transport associations, so that we're able to go down to the local government level and so on and so forth.
And you spoke about criteria. When I was looking through it, I saw that you have to be registered with the CAC. Yes. So what about those who don't fall into that criteria? How can they access it?
Well, you must have a registration with the CAC. You must have a BVN and an account number. And that is why, for this particular scheme, if you don't have that CAC registration, that is for those who are looking for payroll support and the guaranteed offtake, then it becomes difficult. But for those who are just looking for the artisan intervention, for the artisans, once you have your BVN or you have a registration with an association, or you're even not registered with an association, but you have some means of identification, a national ID card, a driver's license, whatever it is, that's enough criteria. Yes. That's enough criteria for you to go online and register. But what we've done also going forward, because MSMEs are very critical, and a lot of them go unregistered. So within this scheme, we're working with Corporate Affairs Commission to register at least 250,000 MSMEs that are hitherto unregistered. And this registration will be free for MSMEs. Those that are not MSMEs will have to pay the sum of 6,000 naira, which is 50% of what the CAC normally charges for registration.
Okay, that's sort of good news for those who... Now, I can't let you go without talking about women. It's something that interests us a lot. You mentioned some time ago that women have an already reserved 40% of the fund. What is the reason behind it? Quickly, we're on time.
Actually, 45%. Okay. His Excellency approved the sum of 45% share for women and 5% for those with special needs. Why women? We recognize the fact that women, a lot of women, are heads of households. They may just be heads of households or economic heads of households. A lot of women are in the MSME space. A lot of women are in difficult situations, either having health challenges. You see what's happening recently with domestic violence and so on and so forth. And the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has a humanistic vision. And that is why Mr. President approved that 45% of these interventions must go to women. But my call this evening is to mobilize the women. You must take up the 45% Mr. President has given to us. So a lot of women are mobilizing, going to local governments with their laptops. Somebody came to me from Delta. She's going from local government to local government. Some states like Kano, Katsina, they're also mobilizing. The women must take their share of that 45%. And we thank Mr. President.
So women, go out there and take advantage of this opportunity. Honorable Minister, for State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, it's been a pleasure having you on Network News.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has joined citizens of the United States of America in praying for quick and full recovery of President Donald Trump and his wife, who reportedly tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement, the president notes with sympathy that the incident of the COVID-19 in the White House manifests the challenge posed by the pandemic across the world and difficulty in containing the spread. While wishing the American First Family speedy turnaround in their current health status, President Buhari urges more compliance to protocols, adherence to advice of medical doctors, particularly epidemiologists among Nigerians. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Dr. Femi Adewara, a United Kingdom-based Nigerian medical doctor, for winning World Bank SDGs and Global Award 2020. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the award came in the season that the President in his National Day broadcast applauded Nigerian professionals at home and abroad, whom the President says ranked among the very best in the world. Dr. Adewara is one of the 7 winners of the SDGs Award globally and among 2,400 women. A feat that President Buhari describes as an attestation of the stuff Nigerian professionals are made of. President Buhari also praised the University of Ibadan and Cambridge University trained medical doctor for her illustrious work in promoting access to healthcare for the world's population in line with SDG 3 that seeks to ensure healthy lives and well-being of all ages. You're watching the news at 9 on NTA. Let's take our first break. More reports when we return. Do stay.
My tailor don't be your mate. He don't dey for your grade. If he knock you a bata, tell no go the hell. Anytime I want to celebrate, he go so the clock he no dey late. He dey sweet me like a chocolate. My tailor know they disappoint. Tailor we go Harvard University. You don't go they jump like a baka. If you see my tailor,
make that switch today and enjoy all calls at 11 kobo per second. Free data on every recharge and double data for 3 months on the network with the widest 4G coverage.
Okay, my tailor.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Presidency and the National Assembly will hold a 2-day joint executive legislative leadership retreat, which will be attended by members of the Federal Executive Council and top government functionaries, as well as leadership and committee chairmen of the National Assembly, aimed at strengthening partnership and collaboration in governance. The retreat will be declared open by His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date Monday 5th to Tuesday 6th October 2020. Venue State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. daily. Registration of all participants will be on Monday 5th October 2020 by 8 a.m. at the same venue. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Announcer Andrew David Adejo, Permanent Secretary, Political and Economic Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
If you run mad, we know waiting cause am. Every time na this phone. Have you gone to buy more units for light? Give me this phone. Ha! They don't finally get you. Enter store, you go see one pink nylon. Bring and come. If you try am. Now that chicken where they use corner look me. Now I want to. That one.
Oh! So now why you send me message when no get with this? Shate. Make yourself begin to enjoy credit and data. Berekete.
Introducing Berekete. Activate a new glow SIM and get 600 Naira free credit plus 700% bonus on every recharge and up to 100% bonus on data plans. Find your first with Berekete. Glow Unlimited.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Adamu, and the Minister of State for Education, Honorable Chukwuemeka Nwajuiba, cordially invite members of the National Assembly, Federal Executive Council, chief executives of parastatals under the Ministry of Education, trade unions, and other stakeholders in the education sector, teachers at all levels, and the public to the 2020 World Teachers' Day celebration, which comes up on Monday, 5th October 2020 at the Eagle Square, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. Come, let's celebrate our teachers. Architect Sani Permanent Secretary, announcer.
Moments can be ordinary. It's what we make of them that really matter. Make the best of every moment, every day, like super moms do with Indomie. Moments to laugh with Indomie. Moments to learn with Indomie. Moments to care with Indomie. Moments to share with Indomie. Moments like no other to appreciate.
Super moms create special family moments with their love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
In handing over the documents to the Federal Prime Minister, Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Her Royal Highness handed over sovereignty to a new nation. This was the dramatic takeover by the new nation's own green and white flag.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android, Intelsat 901 degree east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
You're welcome back. The federal government has ordered the reopening of unity schools nationwide with effect from 12th October 2020. The decision was reached after a wide-range consultation with stakeholders in the education sector and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Abubakar Osman Akwanga reports.
After consultation with the Presidential Committee on COVID-19, we have decided that all our 104 unity schools should open on the 12th of October 2020. States and private owners will work out the modalities for the opening of schools under their purview.
The Minister of Education, Adamu advised schools to ensure strict compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols and other medical advisories streamlined by Nigerian Center for Disease Control. He warned that any school found wanting in abusing the set-out rules for the reopening of schools across the country will be appropriately sanctioned.
We should establish a staff-student committee for regular surveillance, monitoring and enforcement of all COVID guidelines. Let me warn that any school owner who does not comply with these guidelines and an outbreak occurs in the school due to negligence, they risk closure of their schools.
The minister explains that the decision does not translate to zero case of coronavirus pandemic, hence the need to report symptoms of the virus to relevant authorities to prevent spread of the disease. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Still talking education, more people are falling into the trap set by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB to rid the system of malpractices that had in the past threatened the credibility of exams and admission processes. The latest is a candidate apprehended for alleged impersonation. Olaika Ojo reports.
And I'm pleading to be pardoned, and I will support them in any way to further this investigation to get every other information they want.
Seeking for forgiveness may be too late for Etim Israel as he falls into the hands of the law for alleged impersonation. He registered for JAMB examination but connived with one Emmanuel to write it for him. He ran out of luck as his crime was detected.
But because of the directive of the Honorable Minister this year, that no institution should take fresh picture or fresh biometric, rather JAMB should make the original picture of those who registered available to the institution and their fingers. That was the reason why he is caught up.
Out of the 1.9 candidates who sat for the 2020 UTME, 4,900 candidates have issues of picture mismatch, while 657 have complained of unmatching pictures.
And we asked them to apply. Now we are now asking them, come forward, tell me why you want to change your picture.
Israel was one of them, but he is turned out to be of his own making. JAMB again is using the latest arrest to caution candidates to desist from indulging in malpractices, as measures put in place will expose them. Already, Israel has been handed over to the police for further investigations and prosecution. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Talking security now, the armed forces of Nigeria have arrested a total of 869 criminal elements and rescued 321 kidnapped victims across the country. The Coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John NTA, disclosed this during a periodic news conference. He says the feats were recorded between 1st of July and 30th of September 2020. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Details of the operations indicate 91 kidnapped victims were rescued and 312 bandits killed in combat in the northwest. In the northeast, troops of Operation Lafia Dole eliminated 450 terrorists and rescued 66 kidnapped victims. Similarly, 107 bandits and militias were neutralized in the north central by troops of Operation Safe Haven, Wild Stroke and Thunderstrike. In the same vein, troops of Operation Delta Safe have upscaled the fight against economic sabotage in the South-South.
A cumulative total of 8,890,300 liters of automotive gas oil and 33,500 liters of double-purpose kerosene were impounded by the troops of Operation Delta Safe. In the same vein, the gallant troops immobilized a total of 70 illegal refining sites, 66 dugout pits, 134 mercenary tanks within the period.
During the period under review, 18 kidnapped victims were liberated, 46 pirates apprehended, while 18 illegal refining sites were destroyed. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has inaugurated an expanded bulk aviation fuel installation to enhance operations of aircraft for monitoring the Nigerian exclusive economic zones and other operations. Robinson Dere today has details.
The expanded aviation fuel storage was initially a dome with a capacity of about 100,000 liters, meant to service only aircraft flying within the 115 Special Operations Group in Port Harcourt. The facility was expanded to a volume of 340,000 liters with a modern laboratory to ensure the quality of the fuel before usage. Special interest of the project is the easy access to aviation fuel to service special mission aircraft for the monitoring of the Nigerian exclusive economic zones.
Bulk fuel installation is talking about provision of fuel to our aircrafts. And apart from the provision of fuel that is going to be used for our operations, our personnel also are going to be deployed here to come and land.
With the expansion, we shall be able to service the Delta operators of flying within the Port Harcourt military aerodrome here, as well as providing the Nigerian Air Force operational needs.
The facility also have administrative block and generating plant to ensure efficient service. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Delateide, NTA News.
Adiola in Lagos has the next set of reports on the NTA Network News. Happy Independence, Adiola.
Happy Independence to you too, Jumai. Welcome to Lagos. The country, Nigeria, metamorphosed from the collective doggedness and display of high level of patriotism that Nigerians can actually live together peacefully in spite of different ethnic backgrounds. As Nigeria clocks 60, experts say the citizens can reminisce the spirit of nationalism when unity becomes the watchword. Michael Olaleye reports.
A patriotic verse which resonates with the ideas and philosophy of nationhood. A reminder of the struggle that unites despite the reality of cultural diversity. This substance exhibited by foremost nationalists like late Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Sir Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa are rooted in the pride of being a Nigerian ahead of any individualistic identity.
The sense of communalism, which we had in my primary school, for instance, we had pupils from various parts of the country, right up to Cameroon.
Whether in songs, verses, and symbols, Nigeria as an entity has strengthened public mobilization in the quest to imbibe the spirit of patriotism and nationalism in the citizenry.
There should be, at any point in time, a contract between the people and those who lead them.
References have been made to cultural strife and disagreements on issues of national interest.
We must go back to the past when we took delight in rejoicing with all our neighbors.
In fact, the Lagos experience is a clear indication that Nigeria has evolved beyond cultural or religious barrier, as research revealed that more than 80% of residents are not just from other parts of the country, but know no other home aside Lagos.
As a conscious, deliberate policy, if you are going for your driver's license, you are going for international passport, you are going for anything that has to be or that is on the exclusive legislative list, please do away with state of origin.
To sustain this momentum, the unity of purpose on the need to keep the land safe, sound and prosperous for future generations, it is believed should be placed above any individualistic interests. In Lagos, Michael Olane, NT News.
Promasido Nigeria Limited, a leader in the production of high-quality food products in Africa, has unveiled its premium chocolate powder drink with the launch of Twisco. The company also announced 2 brand ambassadors for the energy-given product. Felicia Nwosu has details.
Variety, they say, is the spice of life, which is why Promasido Nigeria Limited, leader in high-quality food products across various regions in Africa, has added another feather to its cap. And this time, the company is giving its numerous customers energy they need to explore and power their dreams through the launch of its new premium chocolate drink powder known as Twisco into the Nigerian market. Tiwa Savage and her son Jamil were officially signed in as brand ambassadors.
I'm also very, very happy that it's very affordable because something this great shouldn't just be for the elite. I feel like it should be available for every child in Nigeria.
Managing Director of the company, Anders Anderson, highlights on the performance of the various brands of the company's products. He also emphasized on how important CSR is to Promasido.
The unique thing about Promasido is that we are not one brand company. We have a fully diversified product portfolio. So in the beverage category, we are doing very well, and we believe that Twisco is going to complement our strategy.
Marketing manager Abiodun Ayodeji speaks on what informed the launch of Twisco chocolate drink.
For us in Promasido, we believe that we don't just want to offer cocoa drink. We want to look at what are the needs of a Nigerian child.
Twisco is a premium chocolate drink powder that delivers optimum nutrition and energy.
Well, we're done from here. Another break beckons, and thereafter, Ogochukwuka Ona in Benin will take over.
Can go here. Mary, how many times I'm going to put yourself?
Save more for later by adding voluntary contributions to your retirement savings account with Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers. Call 012-716,000 to open a Stanbic IBTC pension account today. Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers, a member of Standard Bank Group.
Make a load recharge card, I beg. I don't find the money.
Plenty day to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 1 million naira for one person every day for 90 days. 2 smartphones every hour, every day for 90 days. 10 million naira star price today. New customers just come with side or buy a new line, and we go send you free 1 gigabyte plus 500 naira airtime. So make you the recharge 200 naira or more. Make you for the win.
9 Mobile.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
Thank you for staying tuned. You are on to the network news. Governor Godwin Obaseki wants Nigerians to join President Muhammadu Buhari to build an enviable nation. This is his message at an interdenominational service to mark Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary in Benin, organized by the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria. Elizabeth Omoko reports.
It was an atmosphere of praise and joy to celebrate the historic day. Governor Gordon Obaseki described President Buhari as a man with foresight and insight, and commended youths for keeping the hope alive as future leaders of the country. He wants Edo people to continue to make sacrifices for the state.
There are not very many countries in the world that have gone through the kind of experiences and situations we have gone through in the last 60 years.
The theme for the celebration, together, the religious leaders and organizers say is appropriate.
Nigeria will experience the light of God in the greater dimension. God will give us the necessary environment that we can excel, that we can grow, that we can blossom.
Almighty Allah, bless all our leaders, direct all their affairs aright.
We are still one country, indivisible.
Governor Gordon Obaseki earlier expected the guard of honor mounted in celebration of the past heroes. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
And now talking politics, The Senate Committee on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is on an assessment tour of Ondo State to ascertain the level of preparedness ahead of the October 10 governorship election in the state. Olubukola Aduwo reports.
The committee, led by its chairman, Kabiru Gaya, says for a democratic governance to be sustained, the electoral umpire must live up to expectations by conducting not only free and fair election, but come up with credible results. He explained that Ondo electorate and indeed Nigerians are expecting the October 10 governorship election in the state to be transparent, devoid of any electoral malpractice. He decried record of low collection of permanent voter cards in 3 local government areas of the state, which include Akure South, Ifedore, Ilaoluji and Nukegbo. He, however, commended INEC for its prompt intervention in replacing the burnt smart card readers for the upcoming election.
We want a free, fair and credible election. And in view of that, we would like to advise the politicians too, or the 17 political parties, to make sure they do it wrongful-free.
INEC Resident Commissioner in Ondo State, Ambassador Rufus Akeju, gave assurance that Saturday's October 10 governorship election will be better off than that of Edo State.
We are ready, and your visit also is a fillip.
The committee wants the electorate to come out for the election and conduct themselves peacefully. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
And the news continues in Abuja as we rejoin Jobe.
Thank you, Ogo Chukuka. Now, peace shall reign in Nigeria to attract even development for the good of the people of the land. This was the central message as 60 archbishops and bishops from the 36 states converged in the FCT to pray for Nigeria. Elias Onoto Yakubu reports that the event was organized by Ariwa Pastors Non-Denominational Initiative for Peace.
Like the biblical sacrifice of burnt offering to seek the face of God over his people, these clergies stand here from across the country in fasting to commit the nation into the hands of the Creator.
We believe that Nigeria as an entity cannot be divided, and we will stay together until we solve our problem together and make it great together.
Nigeria at 60 is old enough to have enough peace, unity and prosperity is the trust of this anointed gathering, seeking God's intervention to end insecurity. So from all corners, they took turns to invoke guidance for the leadership, progress of the people, and victory against the enemies in one accord.
Let us come together and be united in respect of our tribe, religious and culture, to build a prosperous Nigeria.
Thank you. That at 60, if 60 is a retirement age, then it is time for us to retire from hunger, to retire from insecurity, to retire from banditry, to retire from unrest.
The gathering unanimously concluded to make this initiative a monthly effort until the target objective to fortify the nation for the journey in the years ahead is achieved. Iliasu Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
In the spirit of Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary, the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has donated drugs and food items to patients at the Vesico-Vaginal Fistula Rehabilitation Center, Kwali, Kano, as part of activities to commemorate the day. Lawa Salo Inua reports.
The donation made through her pet-project Fisher Assured initiative is aimed at putting smiles on the faces of vulnerable and giving them sense of belonging as Nigeria celebrates 60th anniversary of nationhood. Presenting the item to the center, project assistant of the initiative said the gesture is to identify with the patients undergoing rehabilitation in their hour of need, which will aid in their quick recovery.
On the 60th anniversary of Nigeria, we felt it was very, very important to identify this set of patients from Future Assured. Wishes them a speedy recovery.
Items donated include drugs, medical consumables and equipment, as well as beverages. Lawal Salau Inua, NTA News.
All is now set for the group stage of the 2020-21 UEFA Europa League as teams now know their foes after Friday's draw. Tamara Obuwe has more sports updates.
Sports legend
insurgents in Nigeria have continued to demand a total revamping of the way the sports sector is run. Speaking on Nigerian sports since independence, former Super Eagles coach Christian Chukwu and CAF Champions League winning coach Oke Emodi both agree that upgrading sports facilities and standard of competitions alongside the rebirth of school sports are crucial to the development of sports in Nigeria.
I should advocate if the governments can gradually release the teams to the public so that the public will own the club and that will bring back the crowd.
There's no school sports now. No school in this country has an arena for training. You can imagine that. So that's part of the problem we are encountering.
Meanwhile, Chelsea will be getting a 60th consecutive win against Crystal Palace in the Premier League when both teams lock arms at Stamford Bridge in a matchday 4 fixture, which will be live on NTA this Saturday. Staying with football, 2019 runners-up Arsenal have been drawn against Rapid Vienna, Molde and Dundalk in Group B of the Europa League. Tottenham will face Ludogorets, Lask and Royal Antwerp in Group I, with Leicester City, AEK Athens, Braga and Zoya Luhansk in Group G, with Victor Osimhen's Napoli facing Real Sociedad, AZ Alkmaar and Rijeka in Group F. In tennis, US Open champion Dominic Thiem is through to the 4th round of the French Open following a hard-fought 6-4, 6-3, 6-1 win over 28th-seed Casper Ruud. In the women's draw, 2019 Wimbledon champion Simona Halep beat Amanda Anisimova 6-love, 6-1 in 54 minutes to progress. Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
A quick check on the weather prospect for Saturday is next. That's Network News for tonight. Thanks so much for your time. I am Jumwa Yusuf.